other means of persuasion. Now, flee!
I fucking hate this town!
Hey, howdy, hey, people of the internet, whether you're humans or aliens secretly. Wolfman 47 here. So, ever since Disney Plus had the Marvel series Secret Invasion on it, I decided that after a while, when all the spoilers and so forth have been said, that I'll have a look at 3 different things that have done Secret Invasion, because most people would say Secret Invasion is original. Well, some people would say that, but not everybody, because it's based on a comic book series of the same name in the Marvel comic universe. But apart from having Skrulls, Nick Fury, and a select few other Marvel characters, it's kind of got really nothing to do with the comic books. It's doing its own thing, and as we all know, it wasn't really all that well received. But it got me thinking maybe we should compare that to other franchises that have done something very similar. So the 2 other franchises being Doctor Who and the Three Favourite Cornetto trilogy. So we'll start with the Secret Invasion one first, because that's the most recent one. So the Skrulls were first introduced, aliens from Marvel were first introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Captain Marvel. And I'm only going to go by the MCU one, because I haven't actually properly read the Secret Invasion comic books. So I'm just going to go with what the Marvel films go. So the Skrulls first appeared in the Captain Marvel film. I don't remember too much from the Captain Marvel film, other than the Skrulls were there, but were not really like the main major antagonists as far as I can remember. But it was that film and the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home that made it clear that they were about, and they were slowly but steadily trying to find a new home, which Nick Fury promised that he would do. Unfortunately, Nick Fury would eventually abandon that plan, and with the Skrulls deciding that and with some of the Skrulls kind of being a bit impatient, they decide to invade the Earth secretly and sort of take the place of different political figures and other characters, with the most notable one being Rhodes, or Rhodey, aka War Machine, Iron Man's best friend, or Tony Stark's best friend if you prefer. So they do that, and then Nick Fury catches wind of this, and together with a handful of Skrulls that he's teamed up with, he works to try and stop the invasion and figure out a way forward for the Skrulls, which ultimately leads into one of the Skrulls acquiring the DNA of every single Avenger, Guardian of the Galaxy, and hero that participated in the fight against Thanos, to basically have all the powers and destroy the guy that was leading the rebellion of the Skrulls, and ultimately leading to the president sort of outlawing all aliens. And yeah, then the director of the show made those controversial comments saying that Rhodey has always been a Skrull since Civil War, which I'm personally against and refuse to believe. And yeah, that's pretty much Secret Invasion in a nutshell. I've not seen the Marvels yet at the time of doing this video, which is on the 1st of November. I figured I may as well record some videos before January, before December comes around, because otherwise you might see decorations and be a bit confused. So that's that one. So now we move on to the Secret Invasion in Doctor Who. Now, Doctor Who's Secret Invasion isn't exactly one they would like to call the Secret Invasion, because it's obviously a Marvel thing. But anyway, their take on Secret Invasion involves the aliens known as the Zygons. The Zygons are shape-shifting aliens who made their debut in one serial of the classic series, but didn't properly feature in the revival until Stephen Moffat took over. And they first were either mentioned or appeared in a 11th Doctor story, in which they go to the Savoy Hotel in London, where the Zygons have taken the roles of different staff members there. They didn't properly make their presence known until the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, in which in which the three Doctors, the 10th Doctor, the 11th Doctor, and the War Doctor, attempt to form a truce between both the Zygons and the humans because Kate Ledgebridge Stewart wanted to destroy a unit to protect the storeroom, the real one, that is, and ultimately led to the Zygons and the two having a peace treaty. And that worked out for a while, and then in the 12th Doctor era, there was a two-part story featuring the Zygons, in which the Zygons would go a bit fed up with peace and wanted to do another invasion, but then the Doctor reminded both the Zygons and then again that leads to the Zygons and the humans wanted to destroy one another, but then the Doctor reminds them that they are still, that the treaty is meant to last for ages. And then we never hear of the Zygons again after that. So yeah, that's pretty much what happens with the Secret Invasion in Doctor Who there. The Zygons in Doctor Who, compared to the Skrulls, are a little bit different in that they don't actually, as far as I know, they don't kill... Well, actually, no, they do kill humans and take their places, but then some of them do actually become humans that are still alive and kicking, and yeah, well, I go into too much about that. And then that leads us to the third one, which comes from the third of the three favourite Cornetto trilogy, The World's End, in which these beings which are dubbed as blanks or androids, whatever you want to call them, want to invite the humans into a sort of globe, to sort of a multi-universal society, but most of the humans rebelled in this little town that's based on Wayland Garden City. So they decide to kill those humans and replace them with blanks. And then when Gary and his gang arrive to do the pub crawl, the Golden Mile, whatever it's called, the blanks make themselves slowly but steadily known, and they try to invite him as well, but he denies it, and then for some reason it takes only him and his friends to convince them that it's not worth the invasion, and then in the end, and the androids leave planet Earth alone, abandon their invasion, but the result of it leads to a thing that happens that causes all electricity and vehicles and so forth to not work anymore, leading into what was then called the Dark Ages, with the blanks that remain being independent of the network's influence, the invaders of the Earth, but nevertheless still shunned by humans and all that. So that's the three aliens and how they went about it. So that's the Skrulls, the Zygons, and the blanks. And there's three different takes on it, but they're all very similar. So each one is about trying to take over slowly but steadily, take over humans and take over the Earth in a secret way, not to cause not too much interference and all that. But ultimately, each one backfires with the Zygons ultimately accepting the treaty as it is, the blanks just becoming independent of the network and just trying to re-engage into society despite being shunned by humans. And I don't know the fate of the Skrulls, because as I said, I've not seen the Marvels yet at the time of doing this vlog, but yeah. And yeah, so I think out of the three, I think the one that did it badly was Marvel. I know they could have probably done it a bit better, but ultimately they just didn't do the best job they can with that. Whereas Doctor Who put a bit more effort into it, because they did actually decide to bring back the Zygons after only ever appearing in one serial of the classic series, and did multiple stories with them, and those stories were actually, in my opinion, pretty good. Not perfect, but good. And I think the one that did it best I would say is The World's End with the blanks, because it's one of those science fiction films where it's not really based on technology or anything. It's more if a society can be implemented into another society, and yeah, it makes it a bit more interesting and entertaining. But nevertheless, everyone has their opinions. That's my opinion. So Doctor Who in the middle, Marvel at the bottom and the world's end at the top. And that's how I feel about it. But draw your own conclusions. If you feel one is better than the other, then you don't agree with me or whatever. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. So yeah. So that's all I'm going to say on that. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then please like, share, comment and subscribe. See you in the next one. Peace to you all. And if we ever do get a real alien invasion, secret or otherwise, do not let them take control of you. Do not let them kidnap you. Do not let them probe you. Do not let them do anything to you. Just defend yourself until at least some kind of peace treaty is being formed, and then go from there. Because it'll just be like racism all over again if we decide to, do that. And yeah. All right. Doodles.
This is me being reason.